Hello friends, welcome back to my session. So today we will be going to discuss generative AI regarding QA. So just stop writing test cases manually. AI can do it in 10 seconds. But here is the twist. Most QA engineers are still doing it the old way. So today I will be going to show you how to use generative AI in testing, what is generative AI and how QA engineers can use it in testing. So many people confuse AI with generative AI. So let me explain this in very simple words. So very first thing is, what is generative AI? So generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create a new content. It can generate test cases, automation scripts, test data, bug reports, documentation, API page loads, API payloads. And so while traditional AI analyzes data, generative AI basically helps you in creating things for you. Now, why QA must learn generative AI? Because it will be going to save huge time in writing test cases manually. It can generate automation code instantly. It can generate test data for positive, negative, and boundary cases. It generates professional bug reports, that is in the form of JIRA format, as JIRA is a very renowned bug tracking tool, and it can help in debugging automation failures very quickly. So in short, generative AI makes QA work faster, smarter, and professional. So I will be going to take a real QA example of www.saucedemo.com. So, and our scenario will be to place an order successfully. So, like what steps I will be going to follow? I will be going to log in, I will be going to add product to the cart, then I will be going to cart, and I will be performing checkout, fill customer details, finish order, and verify confirmation message. So I will be going to generate test cases automatically. So instead of manually writing test cases, you can ask generative AI like with a one prompt example. So I'm just gonna do one thing. So I will just use chat GPT. Okay, so it will be going to generate our test cases. Fine. In fact, if I want, I can generate test cases automatically, and I will be able to generate test scripts also. So let's see quickly for this. So I'm just gonna open chatgpt.com, and I will be going to create one prompt here. So I will just give generate complete test cases for SauceDemo checkout flow. So with the SauceDemo team, I mean to say, so this is a demo website which we will going to use. So if you want, you can also use this, and you can see it has already given us, the standard user as a username, and this is a password. Okay, so let's go ahead with our prompt here. So generate complete test cases for SauceDemo checkout flow, and I'm just gonna give here URL as https://www.saucedemo.com, and scenario as login, then add product, then cart, then checkout, then finish order. And just mention include positive, negative, boundary, and security test cases. Fine. So let's see. So let's see what output I will get. So here's a complete interview level SDET suit. Okay, QA professional document. Okay, so you can see here it has just given me test scenario, that is login with positive test cases with negative test cases. So it has shown me like verify login with valid credentials. It has given us, like username and password, and expected user logged in successfully. And then I saw some negative test cases like login with invalid username, login with invalid password. Then it has also mentioned some boundary test cases, security test cases, and it has just given me the test scenario to add the product. Okay, and test scenario for a cart. So it has almost covered everything. If you see like checkout overview, finish order. So now you could see like it basically helped me in saving hours by not writing all these test cases manually. Is this now instead of coding, instead of doing it manually, we can also ask this prompt to create one test script for us, right? So instead of coding manually, you can ask generative AI. Need not do coding manually. You just ask here, write Playwright JavaScript automation code for SauceDemo checkout flow. So its steps is login, add product, checkout, fill details, finish order, and verify success message. So after giving this prompt, so definitely AI will be going to generate ready to run automation code. So let's see. So it's generating. Okay. So you could see here team, it has just generated a Playwright test with a JavaScript in it. So see how simple it is. Okay. Could you see? So it is also assisting with some key SDET level points. Fine. So you could see here now how quickly it has generated this script for us. So if you want to run this, you can check my previous video. So you can just open the VS Code and you can just give some commands for running this Playwright script in a VS Code and you will be able to run this. Fine. Now let's suppose I need to generate the test data. Now you could see now how this is helping us in generating things for me. Like till now it has generated some manual test cases for me. It has generated automation script for me. Now if I need to generate test data, so I will just give generative AI can create valid and invalid test data. So we can just give okay, generate valid and invalid test data for checkout form. So fields will be first name, last name, postal code. And you can just mention here include blank, special characters, and boundary values. Fine. Just click on this. So here you could see valid test data. Wow. So see, it has just given me in a table format with a test case ID, with the first name, last name, postal code, and an expected result. Is this? So you could see it is basically saved how many time, like how many hours actually it saved for us. See, for invalid test data, special characters, numeric in name fields, boundary test data, spaces handling, security test data, script injection, Unicode. Wow, this is something like team. It will be going to help you out, in like saving lot of hours for you. So now let's suppose team, if you're debugging your automation test script and your debug automation fails, so basically timeout, like let's suppose timeout or locator not found. So instead of guessing, generative AI can suggest solutions for you. So like let's suppose if you give a prompt, my Playwright test is failing with error, and you can mention like let's suppose timeout, for example you can just give 30,000 milliseconds. Okay, this 30,000 milliseconds exceeded. Okay, so just then give explain possible reasons and solutions. Just check this. If I give this prompt, so see, it has just given me what might be the most common reasons. Element not found, location is, your locator is wrong. Locator is just to inspect the element in your web page. Element not present in DOM. So it has just given me, you can fix it by just inspecting element again using correct locator. Element might not be visible, page still loading. So it has just given you some dynamic waits here. So just wait for state that is visible, and it might be due to some slow network or API delay. So backend response might be slow or page takes more than 30 seconds. So it has just given you one solution for this. You can set the timeout. Fine. So, or you might have applied some wrong assert condition expecting something that never happens. Navigation not happening, might be an iframe issue. Wow, so it has given you a number of conditions and the possible fix for it. Is this the really helping us out a lot? Now finally you can generate the professional bug report. Suppose you find a defect, like let's suppose checkout allow continue. Checkout basically allows you continue without postal code, for example. So you will just give one prompt here, create a professional JIRA bug report, and just give app as SauceDemo, and URL as https:// SauceDemo.com, and now you can mention here issue as checkout allows continue without postal code. Fine. And you can mention steps as like login, then add product, then checkout, then leave postal code blank. So this is actually the whole flow. If you want, you can check. Already I've just mentioned the URL for this demo website, and then finally click continue. Fine. So now just give here expected is error should show, and actual is it proceeds. So just mention severity as high. Fine. So this is our prompt. Let's click on this and see. So you could see here the finally JIRA bug report. So it has given us the bug ID, the title, bug title, application, URL, module, and it has just given an awesome description. So user is able to continue checkout without entering the postal code, which violates mandatory field validation rules. And steps to reproduce when expected result and actual result with severity, priority. It is also mentioned the environment with attachments if you need to attach some attachment here. And it is also mentioned the impact analysis. Fine. So you could see team like how basically it helps us. So generative AI can help QA in 5 main ways which we saw. That is in test case generation. Test case generation is faster and complete. In automation script generation, that saves coding time. In test data generation, that is positive, negative, boundary values. In debugging automation, it just explains the failures and suggested fix for it. And the bug report writing, that is very professional and ready to submit. So we can understand team like one very key difference. A key difference between a traditional QA and in today's world. So like for generative AI, so in case of automation, if we say, see automation basically executes steps. For example, it will just write Playwright script, logs in and place order. AI will help you in analyzing and predicting, like it will be going to help you in detecting the failures due to slow backend, but generative AI basically helps you in creating the content and generate test cases, code data and a bug report for you. So all QA engineers, just remember automation is execution, AI is intelligence, but generative AI is creation. So companies now want QA engineers who can use generative AI. If you master generative AI, you will become a future ready tester. So thank you all. I hope you enjoyed this session and you really understood how you can save your hours, many hours, by generating such QA content which can help you in increasing your productivity. So thank you everyone. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos.